Every year, the Singapore government will release a budget that will impact many Singaporeans' life. So there are good ones and bad ones, and here's a summary of the good and the bad of the budget. Hi, my name is Jorden and welcome to the channel. So the Singapore budget was released a couple days ago, and there was some stuff that made Singaporeans really uncomfortable, but at the same time there was some that can greatly help certain industries that have been affected in the past 2 years. Although not everyone will be happy with these new changes, it also goes to show that as a society, we're not able to please everyone, but at the same time we should be looking out for each other and try to make the world a better place to live in. And with the cost of rising goods coupled with an insanely high inflation rate, we have groups of people that feels the pinch of all these increases. The core inflation rate for Singapore is 2.9% in January and is the highest in more than 9 years. So this is driven by the high inflation of food, electricity and gas, which are necessities that we need on a daily basis. So the CPI, or the Consumer Price Index, is currently sitting at 4%. And to break down what the CPI is, this is what it covers. So food is up 0.5% from 2.1% to 2.6% year on year. Electricity and gas is almost up 7% from 10.7% to 17.2%. Retail and other goods rose from negative 0.7% to negative 0.3%, which indicates that there were less discretionary spending in the last year. Accommodation increased 0.1% from 3 to 3.1% due to an increase of housing rents. Services was down 0.2% from 2.6% to 2.4%. Private transport fell from 15.5% to 14%. And from this table, across all items, the year-on-year inflation for the key CPI categories rose from 0.2% all the way to 4%, which is a cause for concern for all of us. Hence, knowing your personal finance and investing is something one should do if you have the means to curb inflation and to ensure that your money doesn't get smaller. And with all these fears in the market, this is how the Singapore Budget 2022 will help. The Job and Business Support Package of $500 million will be used to help small businesses. So businesses can get up to $1,000 per local employee with a cap of $10,000 for those in the affected sectors, which include the food and beverage sector, the hawker centers, the markets, the coffee shop, the food courts, the canteens, the retail sector, the performing arts and arts education, the sports sector, cinema operators, museums, art galleries, historical sites, indoor playgrounds, family entertainment centers, the tourism and hospitality sector, which is hit really hard because there were literally no tourists here, and most of these hotels were used as isolation or quarantine facilities throughout the last 2 years. And for small employers that do not hire local employees, they are given a one-off $1,000 grant. And to add on to that $500 million grant, another $600 million will be set aside for the enhanced productivity solutions. So this means that eligible SMEs can get a waiver for skills development levy contributions. SMEs can also use this grant to implement digital and automation solutions which will raise productivity for everyone. So that is all on the business side. But let's look at the household support schemes. To help the households in Singapore, there will be a $560 million household support package to help Singaporeans with the rising cost of utilities, children education, and bills. For eligible households, there will be a double GST U-Save rebates, and children below the age of 20 will get a top-up of $200 into their education accounts. And all households will receive $100 of CDC vouchers, which can be used to make purchases in hawker centers, wet markets, bakeries, hardware shops, mini-marts, etc. So basically it's free meals or whenever you guys need to spend on from the government. So to support the low-wage workers, there will be an extended progressive wage model and an enhanced income supplement scheme. So Singapore doesn't have a minimum wage system, but instead uses a progressive wage model. The progressive wage model only applies to Singapore citizens and permanent residents, which ensures that workers are provided a minimum sum of $1,300 or more. But whether this is good or not is really up for debate. But with this model, low-wage worker will get a WIS or a Workfare Income Supplement, which currently pays a maximum of $4,000 annually, but will be increased to $4,200, and the qualifying income to get this is $2,500 a month. So next we have GST, which is probably the hottest topic in Singapore, with discussions happening since 2018 when it was announced that GST will be increased by 2% from 7% to 9%. And this means that if we were to eat in a restaurant which is GST registered, we have to pay an additional $7 for every $100 that is spent. And when this percentage increases to 9%, it will mean that we are paying extra $2 for every $100 spent. But fret not, because there will be no increase in 2022, and the first increase will only happen on the 1st of January 2023, which makes the GST 8%, and subsequently on the 1st of January 2024, it will increase from 8% to 9%. To help cushion the rise, there will be no increase in government fees and charges for 1 year until 2023, and the government will absorb all publicly subsidized education and healthcare services. So on top of that, for eligible Singaporeans in the lower and middle income, they'll receive up to $500 of cash payout, which was previously $150 to $300. GST support will also see 2.8 million adult Singaporeans aged 21 and above to receive $700 to $1,600 in cash payout based on salary and property ownership. This means that we can probably get between $140 to $320 a year in addition. So this money can be put into good use, and it's wise to start planning what to do with this extra $100 that is coming to us in the next year or so. So now let's talk about the not so good parts.
That's not good.
As we are working towards a zero emissions by 2050, taxes are going to increase to discourage people from generating excessive carbon. So having one of the lowest carbon taxes at $5 a tonne, the new carbon tax will be raised in 2024 to $25 per tonne, and this will reach $50 to $80 per tonne by 2030. This means that looking at $25 per tonne, a 4-room HDB will be looking to pay extra $4 a month in taxes, and by 2030, this might scale to $10 or even more. So CPF is also another controversial topic in Singapore, and people are pretty divided about it. There are people who do top-ups to their CPF, and there are others who do not favour the CPF scheme. So as an employee, we contribute 20% of our salary to CPF, which is like a forced savings. And your employer will have to top up 17% of your salary into your CPF account as well. So essentially, if you're earning $3,000 a month, your CPF account will grow roughly $1,000 every single month, and it grows on a 4% annual interest as well. But the contribution numbers do change as you grow older, and with the new budget, senior citizens aged 50 to 70, they will have to contribute 1.5% to 2% additional into their CPF account, but this will only start in 2023. Though this will help with their retirement, but not many people will like this move. Thus, it's always good to start investing and paying yourself so you're able to retire on your own rules. So now let's talk about the most affected parties. So if you're earning more than $320,000 a year, your income tax is currently sitting at 22%. But with the new budget, there are new tiers of income as follows. An excess of $500,000 in income will have a 23% income tax, and anything more than $1 million a year is taxed at 24%. Next, we have property, which is probably one of Singaporeans' favorite investment vehicles, because we are in a land-scarce city-state, and there are many that own more than one property for rental income. So with the new budget, property taxes will increase from 10 to 20% to 12 to 36%, which is a really huge increase. And those who are renting out their whole units will be the ones that will be affected the most. So driving that Lamborghini is a young man's dream, and to own one in Singapore comes with a huge cost. A Lamborghini here can cost as much as $1 million brand new, and even second-hand ones can easily cost half of that. Cars in Singapore are expensive due to the lack of space and here having too many cars. And to be honest, Singapore is pretty accessible with public transport, except for some places that are really far away. So the previous ARF or additional registration fee is 100% to 180%. But with the new budget, this will bring a new ARF of 100% to a maximum of 220%. So that's what I got from the Singapore budget and what I think will affect majority of us here. So thank you guys so much for watching. So do let me know your thoughts on the budget, and if you could change anything, which of these will you change? And as always, do hit the like button to support the channel, subscribe if you haven't, turn on notifications to get the latest videos, and I'll see you in the next one.